Welcome back to my hobby room. Today I have something fun for you. At least I think it's fun. I have this die. I bought a couple of them from eBay when I first started die cutting. I didn't have any dies, and I bought some from eBay, and they were Tim Holtz, and I thought that was really cool. Very long, and they made this film strip, and it also made a ticket, a very long ticket um, that you could then decorate. And I thought they were so cool, and I've used them many times. And for this particular project, I'm going to do the film strip since he just released from the vault a smaller version of this film strip, along with a viewfinder, which I absolutely Viewmaster is what it's called, a Viewmaster Reel. I had those as a kid, and I can't wait to play with that. But the he said on Saturday that the film strip is much smaller, and he doesn't even have the original one, which I find sad because I have it and I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to use it today. So I had to find all the smallest things I could find, and what I decided to go with was one of them is going to be florals, so some flowers, kind of spring looking. And what do you do with these, you ask? I like to put them either on a card, either as a border or as a focal point. You could do either one. You can also put letters. This is really a good size to put letters in it and going down the side to spell something, like the person's name. It comes out really nice like that too. But I thought today I would show you a couple of versions that I like to do. So you'll notice on the right side, and I'm going to tell you about it now because when we start working on it later, I don't know that I'll have a chance to show you. But I found all the smallest dies I could find, or die cuts, I should say, that I already have done. What I was looking to do was not do a whole bunch of stuff, new stuff, but use up some of my stuff. So these are things that are already made. Now I'm trying out this one. I end up not using it, and that's probably a good thing because I have this whole little bowl there of die cuts, and I've got quite a few of them in there, and I'm trying to use them when I need florals, and I just seem to like ones that I make better. So I tend to not use them as much, but I thought I'd use some for this one. And you see me cutting there, and I'm trying to get as close as I can because I don't like the white border. So what I did for the others, you'll notice there's a brown background on the inserts, and I just went around them all in vintage photo, I think I used for them. And I went around them all so it would kind of blend into the background. Now I also took a darker color. I think I might have used vintage photo or the new one, the new darker brown, around the edges of each of these so they kind of pop out. You'll see when I go to put them in. But what I did is I did a blue one and a brown one, and I reversed the inserts so they'll kind of stand out a little bit. I found that out after making them for a while, that not using white is good and using a different color from a different one. So what I tend to do is cut out several of them at a time and then, trade off the inserts so that I can have kind of a cool looking insert. And all of them being the same is neat. Now that blue is really nice. You'll see this later. The blue looks like the sky, and it's a very nice one to have. But for this one, the blue is going to be the background, and it does come out looking nice. Now there it is. I put this white strip along the back of it, and when I cut out the film strips, I cut them with a backing on them that you could peel off so that they have a stickiness to them. And then this white strip is going right through the middle. And this does two things. One thing it does is it gives you somewhere to glue your insert down to. Otherwise, you have nowhere to glue it down unless you know where you're putting it. And since I'm making this not with a specific idea in mind, putting it in there makes a lot more sense, putting the white in there and letting it sit. But it also kind of props it up a little bit. And that's kind of neat too, because when you put them in there, and I'm just gluing them in there, and I'm trying to beat the fact that I put all the glue very quickly. And I'm trying to hurry up and get them all in there. But don't they look nice? I mean, it's a really cool look and it makes a really nice border or little added embellishment. And you could cut them in half and only use half on one card and half on another if you want. There's all kinds of things you can do with them. You could even take them and separate them more than that, like almost like a stamp, how you use a stamp for an embellishment. You could use them on an envelope if the envelope was going to be given in person. But I just liked the flowers. I thought they came out really cute. I was very happy, and especially because I got to use some things from my stash, which is always a good thing. And I'm using something I already have. I have to say, I'm going around this outside in a darker color. I believe I used peacock feathers to go around it to make it darker around the outside. And then I also went around those little blue, you'll see them there. I went around all of those little blue rectangles. So now I'm putting in there these tiniest little punches I have. They are so tiny. And before I didn't realize, if you color them, color some of them, like the leaves on the little flowers, the little tulips, and on the horse, I colored the horse's mane and tail and hooves. And it looks like a real horse. I mean, you can see it's a horse. Where before I was kind of like, oh, they have to all be like silhouettes. And I've been watching a lady, and I can't think, Christine Stokes. Wow, look at that. Her name came up in my head. And she does a lot of dyes, and she does a lot of coloring and layering with them. Like she would probably go as to far as to put another flower on top of this, you know, where you would put it, just cut off just the flower and put another one on top to give it a little bit more dimension. I did not do that. But what I did is I used the smallest punches. These are all, in this group here, are all punches. So there's a horse punch. Like I said, I did them in different colors and colored their mane and tail and whatever. I think they look really cute. There's an airplane. I made it out of metallic. So it looks like it's a metallic plane in the air. And because that blue and white looks like it's in the air, that's really neat. The butterfly is also metallic. It's kind of a peachy metallic color, which looks very butterfly-like. And then another little tulip there. And I think that these were just great little punches that I have that I haven't used as much as I could because I don't know, I just haven't put the effort into them. So I did color all of the tulip green. I colored the leaves and stem all green. And I think that really added to how the tulips look. I didn't do that before. Before I thought, oh, they're just, one color. And I'm, learning how to take these little punches or even dyes that are one and make them more dimensional, make them more stand out and be cooler looking with a really simple little punch. And that's I've mentioned before. I got a large group of punches that I purchased that I didn't necessarily didn't necessarily pick out. I just chose them. They were a bulk purchase, and a lot of them ended up getting, not a lot of them, but some of them ended up getting broken in transit. But the ones that didn't, I've had, used on and off, but I haven't never used them this way. So for me, this was new. If you haven't used your punches and you've got some that can be colored and some that can have some dimension on them, maybe this will inspire you to get them out and put more things on them, make them look a little more, I don't know, a little more dimensional, a little more like there's more to them than what actually is there. So now these blue ones are going to go on the brown. However, I need to first put a white strip through there, and I need to put, there it is, and I'm going to put that on, and then I took out all of the little holes, the things that were in the holes. That took quite a bit of time. I saved you from watching that. However, I somehow or another managed to lose whatever footage I had of me actually putting these all in there. So at the end, you get to see them all put in. And don't they look cool? I'm very happy with how this turned out. Keep crafting!
And dance by the light of the moon.